welcome to our first ever webinar conducted by MEXT Scholars here. So my name is Samriddhi Mishra and I am from India, and currently I am a MEXT Scholar of the year 2022 in Kyoto University, and I'm living in Kyoto right now.
Yeah. Hi, so I hope you can see me. My name is Jay, like just a letter J, and I am from Delhi, India, and I am currently in Tokyo. I am studying computer science in the University of Tokyo. So yeah, I am doing masters, as someone asked. Sayan asked, I'm doing masters, but I am an undergraduate MEXT scholar as well, and master's MEXT scholar as well. And Samriddhi here is a master's MEXT scholar, and she's studying in Kyoto University. And again, so guys, listen to this very carefully. Yeah? How we're gonna do this is like Mishu-san here is going to explain you everything about the scholarship. Yeah, how to apply, where to apply, what to do. Okay, she's going to explain you everything. Then we are going to take some questions from you for some time. After that, I will be giving you some kind of like tips and tricks, how to give the answer in an interview and what to do exactly what to write in a letter of recommendation form. I'll be telling you all kind of like the secret tips and tricks. And I will also be introducing to you guys for a program which we have, but okay, that will come later. After that, after I have spoken, then we will have a detailed Q&A session, and like the second Q&A session, where again you guys can ask us questions. So no questions right now. Just listen to Mishu-san here. Okay, you can.
Okay. As people asked, I am a master's student and I'm studying geophysics under the Department of Earth and Planetary Sciences. So, but I did my engineering. My background is civil engineering, but I moved to natural sciences and I'm currently doing my master's in geophysics. So more questions will be answered. And yeah, so I would be screen sharing. So the flow of this webinar would be, I would be screen sharing and talking about MEXT and taking some Q&A. And then after that, the second part will be handled by Jay-san. Jay-san, is it okay if we call Jay-san?
Hi.
Okay, the second, and also like my name is Samriddhi, but it's very difficult to pronounce Samriddhi in Japan. So my surname is Mishra, which becomes Mishura. But my Japanese professor, he gave me a nickname Mishu. So I became Mishu in Japan. So everybody in Japan calls me Mishu. So if you want, you can call me Mishu-san as well. So presenting Mishu-san and Jay-san. Okay. So can everybody see?
Yeah, awesome.
Awesome. Great. Okay. So, okay, I'm just adjusting a few things. Okay, since I have screen shared the whole thing, so if there are any messages in the chat box, Jason, please like help me. If it's urgent related to the screen to the slide, let me know. Okay. So welcome to our webinar. We are talking about MEXT Scholarship and all about MEXT Scholarship and everything that you need to know, right from the procedures to Q&A, how to do and how to go about it. And I understand like just 2 days ago, the applications just opened. So everybody has a lot of questions. And I hope by the end of this webinar, we are able to answer some of them. So as introduced before, my name is Samriddhi, and I've completed my bachelor's in civil engineering. And I am also a National Science Academy awardee, where I've completed my summer research internship in IIT Bombay. And then after I graduated in 2020, because it was pandemic, so I stayed back. I prepared for MEXT, and then I applied in 2021, and now I'm a MEXT scholar in Kyoto University. And currently I'm doing geophysics as a master's student. Yeah. Jay, do you want to say it again? Or
yeah, so I have explained most of it. I did my bachelor's in computer science in India, And in my final year, I applied for masters for MEXT Scholarship. So as soon as I got my masters, my undergraduate degree, I came to Japan to do my masters. And apart from that, I have also done like a few other Japan-related internships. One of them is Japanese government METI internship, and this is for people who want to work in Japan. It is a very, it's like, I personally feel it's like even a really great internship. So you can ask me questions about this particular internship as well, but try to do that afterwards. Yeah, so this is pretty much it about me. And yeah, you can continue, Sabit.
Okay. So, so what exactly was the motivation behind this webinar? So, like I said, there were a lot of questions from a lot of people, and it's a little bit difficult for us to answer. And there were so many MEX scholars who mentioned that there are questions regarding MEX. So we wanted to consolidate all the information and try to give a brief about MEXT in general. So what this webinar would actually do is to clear the doubts about MEXT Scholarship, undergraduate, graduate, etc., give you a brief about the application procedure, introduce the MEXT Mentorship Program that is going to be an initiative by the MEXT scholars who are currently studying here. And then we also, in this way, we also aim to encourage more applicants to study in Japan, irrespective of the scholarship or whatever. And also, if you do not get MEXT, there are still several options that you can avail to study in Japan. So we'll talk about other opportunities and internships in Japan. So yeah. So what exactly is MEXT scholarship? So everybody is like, okay, it's MEXT. So MEXT is nothing but it's a ministry, like how in India we have MHRD. Exactly in Japan, there's a ministry that is responsible for the education and cultural upliftment of the country Japan. So it's the ministry that gives out the scholarship to international students who really want to study in Japan. And who all can avail it? Any nationality whose country has like diplomatic relations with Japan can actually avail this scholarship or can actually apply. And as long as the Japan embassy has an embassy office in your country, you can actually dream of studying in Japan via MEX scholarship. And then it's an annual scholarship, so it takes place every year with two tracks. That is why you can get the same MEX scholarship in two ways, and the induction is done twice. So there is a spring intake and there's an autumn intake. So in spring intake you come in April, and in autumn intake you come in October or sometimes September. And the induction for these two entry is done together annually. So once you apply once, you have given an option whether you want to come in spring or autumn. And like I said, again, it's a full paid scholarship to conduct research in Japan. So no matter what subject you're studying, you can always like decide, like you see an option to study in Japan. Now, the scholarship benefits. What exactly? Okay, why should I take this scholarship? What are the benefits? Now, this is one of the most beneficial scholarship that I see. That I don't think so. They provide so much of benefits in US either, because in universities in the West or any other place, you get maximum. You can get like 100% tuition fee that is availed, but then you have to pay for your accommodation, you have to pay for your exam fee, etc., which itself is very costly. This scholarship gives you a full tuition fee waiver, so you don't have to pay any tuition fee in whichever university you study now, and you don't have any application fee as well. So to apply to MEXT, you do not have to pay any application fee, which is extremely important to know, that how Japan really wants applicants to apply based on their research skills or their achievements, and irrespective of money. Plus, what happens if you get this MEX scholarship and what do you have to pay for your flight tickets? Because the flight tickets are super expensive. No, not really. You don't have to pay for your flight tickets either. Do you have to pay for your visa? No, not really. You don't have to pay for your visa either. Second, if every semester we have to give a certain examination fee, do you have to pay that? No, not at all. Okay, then what? Okay, I don't have to pay anything. Now, what about me living there? So, in order to live there, in order to survive, pay for your phone bills, rent, your food, your groceries, your manga purchase, or any sort of like recreational activities, whatever. So you get,
Alcohol.
yeah, so you get a monthly stipend of 1,17,000 yen, which is roughly about 70,000 INR, I guess, and about 1,000 USD for undergraduate student. So this money is the money that you get every month to pay your rent, to pay your bills, to even sometimes if you can save, you can also send it back home and all, you can also save. So this is the amount that you get. It's a little higher for graduate students who are applying for their masters and their PhD. It's 1,44,000 yen, and for doctorates it's 1,46,000. And also there is a plus that if you are living in cities like Osaka, Tokyo, Kyoto, which is comparatively a little more expensive, the cost of living is a little higher, you get an extra 2 to 3,000 yen depending upon the city you are living in, as a bonus in order to survive. Secondly, you can also get university dorms provided you apply for it, and once you're accepted, you apply for it, and the dorm is available for 6 months to 1 year, depending upon the amount of vacancies they have. So you can also stay there. So these are the scholarship benefits. Now, whoever listens to this will be like, okay, I really want this now. This is everything that one can ask for. So now we are going to talk a little about the eligibility. Since I mentioned about the tracks, is it embassy track? Is it university track? Then we're going to talk about the documents that are required. What are the application procedures, screening process, etc. So this webinar right now is going to answer everything that you have, all sorts of questions, how to do, what to do, etc. So hold on. Okay, so first we are going to talk about eligibility. How do I know that I'm eligible to study in Japan? So for one, for every examination, you might have like an age restriction. So yes, in undergraduate, you must be born on or after April 2nd, 1999 in order to begin your undergraduate studies. So if you are born before that, I'm extremely sorry, you might not be able to apply for undergraduate because you might be eligible for research student because you're way older. Now, for research student, if you're born on or after the date mentioned, April 2nd, that's basically like, it's also an age where you are, it's 1989, right? Yeah, it's 1989. So in this area, you have to be basically a postgrad student who want to conduct their masters or PhD, etc. And similarly for College of Technology and specialized training. Now, there's something that's on the left that might bother you. That what do you mean by MEXT have their own grade scale? This is a question that everybody asks. How do I know what is my marks eligible or not? Basically, if we take in percentage, 65 nominal, it's 65% and above. But MEXT do have their own grade scale because there are people who are applying from different countries, and different universities have a different scale of grading. So it is very important for MEXT to know that whether you fall under the category or not. So the most nominal is 2.3 out of 3. So there's a grade scale of 3, and you need to convert the grade scale as it is needed. Everything is in the website, so you don't have to worry. And even if you don't convert it, if you just write your grade, and if you attach the transcript, usually the transcript of your university or your school gives a list of like if it is like 90 to 90, like 95 to 100 is A, and then 80 to something like that, like 90 to 85 is B, whatever. So if that is mentioned in the transcript, a MEXT will do the needful. So it's very important to submit the transcript for MEXT to calculate that. Yeah.
Samriti, can I stop you for a second?
Yeah.
So, guys, the thing with grading is do not worry about grading. So I will explain it in terms of 100%, As long as you have approximately 70%, you have a chance. Okay, yeah, process. So I think there are a lot of other factors except your grades. So whatever your grades are, just do not think too much about them and just try to apply at least, because as long as you have, I think according to me, as long as you have 70 marks out of 100 overall, you have a good chance. Like if everything else is in place, then you have a chance for sure. Right? Samriti, those.
This is the last warning to someone who is Monty. You'll be kicked out of the chat if you spam here. So this is the last warning. Don't think that we are not watching, because first of all, we are extremely busy, and we are conducting this webinar to help you guys. So please refrain from saying anything that is not required, because next time I don't think so we'll do something like this, an initiative to help any of you. So this is the last warning. Okay, moving on. So since I mentioned about how to choose your track, I mentioned there are two tracks. Is it embassy or university track? In both ways, you can actually become a MEXT scholar. So like Jay and I, we are embassy recommended students. There are more of our MEXT fellow students who are university recommended as well. And so what is the basic difference? In embassy recommended, the embassy selects the candidates who they think are like the ones to be chosen that particular year, and that information is informed to the university. Whereas in the university recommended, it's the opposite. You apply to the university, and the university selects you, and then they inform it to the embassy. So like 1 and 2 are interchangeable. So in the embassy recommended, you apply to the embassy or consulate of your country. In university recommended, you apply directly to the university of your choice where you want to study. And once you are selected, if you are university recommended, the university will inform the embassy, okay, we want this student. If the embassy recommended, then the embassy will inform that, okay, we have selected the student. If you're interested, then kindly accept him or her. Now, what is the difference? Another difference in embassy recommended, since it is the embassy of the country, so the screening is done for people all over the country. So there are comparatively more number of seats. 10 to 12 is an average number of seats that is mentioned. It is not exactly the correct figure, but it's definitely more than 10 for hopefully for every country. But you have to check with your embassy and consulate to see how many seats are available. For university recommended, there are fewer seats because it's that particular university that has a few quota for MEXT students. So roughly it will be 2 or 3, not more than that. So the competition is much more higher. But if you know that this is the university you want to get in, and this is what you want to study, and you have comparatively higher grades and greater knowledge, and if you have spoken to the professor and everything is sorted, then you can be confident to apply in university recommended. Now, an embassy, again, the interview is taken by the embassy. For university recommended, the interview is taken by the department or the university representative. So this is the main difference. Plus the timeline, currently that the applications that are open for embassy recommended, currently that the applications are open are for embassy recommended students. And then the university recommended students, the applications are open in the same year, but towards the end of the year, around November or December. So if you're applying for embassy, you can still apply for university in the same year. Any questions?
So Samriddhi,
Yeah.
how can we decide if we should go for embassy or university?
So actually, like, since I mentioned that the application that opened first is the embassy recommended application. So that is the first time that in the year, the MEXT opens the application. So there is no harm in applying in the embassy recommended track first. So for example, if you apply for document screening, and if you pass the document screening, and then if you write the written exam, but for some reason you do not clear the written exam, then you still have a chance, okay, I can apply in university recommended track in the same year. So it is definitely up to you. So this is basically a comparison. There is no hard and fast rule, whichever is suitable for you. There are students who applied in university recommended and they have passed. So it's up to you. But this comparison is basically to make things clearer for you on what to do and what not to do. So it's up to you.
Yeah, I would like to add one more thing to what Samriddhi said. So basically, guys, everybody is recommended to go for the embassy track. But if you are already in contact with a professor, for example, yeah, when I was studying in India, so I was already in contact with a professor from Tokyo because I had worked under him for some time. So if there is a professor who you've been in touch with, that's when the university recommended track becomes very useful. That means that in that case, the university track is very good, a good option for you. But if you do not have any professor at this particular moment, then you go for the embassy recommended. And if you fail the embassy recommended, then you obviously have the option of to go for the university recommended method again after failing the embassy method. Yeah. So yeah, Samriddhi, you can go.
Okay. So what exactly is the flow of the MEXT application? First is the application submission dates, which is around the corner. So you make a note of all the documents that are required and you arrange them and you apply for it via post. So that is the application submission. Then whatever you have sent to the embassy or consulate, they are going to do the screening of that application. And then they're going to send an email to people who are selected. So please note that only the people who are selected for the next round are given an email for the written exam or interview. Those who are not selected, unfortunately, you do not get to hear anything from the embassy, and you would not get to know why your application was not selected, etc., because they're not going to entertain the questions. Now, how do you know that the first screening is out, and how do you know whether you're selected or not? So one thing is they do update it on their website. So they upload a list of a PDF file which has a list of names who have been called for the written exam. So if you find your name there, and if you do not get an email, you can revert back. But if you do not find your name there and you do not get an email, it's a clear sign that probably you cannot go further into this application procedure. After you're called for written examination, you reach there, you give your examination, everything, and then you come back and then you wait for the call for interview. Again, that is uploaded on the website, so you can check if you're called for the interview or not. And then after the interview, there's second screening where all your applications plus your written examination and your interview results, everything are screened. And then you are notified of your results after some time. Please note that this whole process takes about 8 to 10 months, if I'm not wrong. Is it?
Yeah, yeah. The
Yeah.
same 8 to 10 months.
8 to 10 months for the embassy recommended track. So within these 8 to 10 months, you do get an option. You do get an option to apply for the university recommended option as well if you feel that you might not clear this exam. So you can do that. So for example, if you apply in April, the notification of the results of your final results, where you have finally you get to know whether you're going to Japan or not, it's around January to February, around that time, because that was the time when we got it as well. So yes, someone raised their hand. I don't know if they have a question. Okay,
Yeah, we'll take them. We'll take them later.
yeah,
It's fine.
okay. So that is the simple flow. Now, what are the documents that are required? Now, the documents, please note that the number of copies, the number of original documents depends upon your embassy. So supposing if you are based in India, the ones that are mentioned here, number of copies, these are mentioned in the Embassy of Japan and India website. So please check how many copies are required by your embassy, and please prepare accordingly. So I would like to mention that a lot of people, like, I did not get a chance to add that slide into this webinar, that there is a list that is already provided in the guidelines about the documentation. So please note that there are circles that are mentioned. So the one with black circles are optional. The one with like just white circles are compulsory. So please take a screenshot, or this will be uploaded later. Please verify and prepare the documents accordingly. So for undergraduate students, you have to prepare 2 copies of each of these. So each of these, you have to prepare 2 copies, which is one original and 1 copy. So the 2 sets that you make, one should be filled with, one should be all the original documents. The second should be a copy of the original documents. And you have to make 2 sets. So there's the application form. The application form link is in the website, but however, when I'll be taking the Q&A session, I'll be uploading a Google link which has all the forms for 2024 downloaded. So if you want to download for undergraduate or research student, please download it from there. So do not worry if you're not able to download the correct application form. Okay, so there's application form, there's health certificate form. What exactly is the health certificate form? That is also a certificate, a guideline that has been mentioned by the MEXT, which has to be filled by a doctor or a physician that is associated to a medical institution. And it's the basic information about height, weight, and everything, just to see that the person is healthy. And it has to be stamped and signed by the authorized physician or doctor. So that is the health form. So the original one that you get signed, that is the original, and then you make a photocopy of it and you add it in the other set. So that is what it means. Recommendation letter for undergraduate students, for students who have attended their schooling from the past school, like their 12th. Please note that the recommendation letters from tuition teachers or coaching institutions are not accepted because you're not done your schooling from there. Your schooling means the school where you have registered your school and you have completed your 10th or 12th from there. So you can get the recommendation. Yeah.
Can I add something here?
Yeah.
So guys, when you are getting a letter of recommendation, yeah, for undergraduates, you usually have a choice between your class teacher and your principal. I would suggest that you go for your principal. You try to like connect with him or her, because a letter of recommendation from a principal is more valuable than your class teacher. So try to get an LOR signed from your principal. Although it will be a hassle, but just give it a shot. And for research students, my best suggestion would be to either go for your head of department, the HOD. Like for masters and PhD students should either get a letter of recommendation from the HOD or from the dean. So in my case, I got my letter of recommendation from the dean. I got lucky. So that's what you have to do. So do not go for any normal teacher, any random teacher. Try to aim for the dean or the principal of your college or university. Okay. Yeah.
One more thing, there is a question how to fill the application form. Please note that the application form and everything else should be filled digitally. So the people who have concern that the application form is a PDF file, please note that that PDF file is editable. So what the thing is, when you click the PDF file and when you click on the name and when you put the cursor and click it, you can actually fill in your details. So it's not a non-editable PDF file. You don't have to convert it to doc file. You can straight away write your things in on the PDF file itself. Okay, so that is one thing that you have to fill
Yeah,
it.
that
Yeah,
Samriti, did that happen to you as well? That happened to me too. Like I was thinking, how am I supposed to write in this? Because it was a PDF file,
yeah,
but then we clicked on it, it was editable, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it was a
So
big problem. But guys, just you can edit that PDF file, so don't worry about it.
yes, and for the health certificate, please do not worry. You can like that can be handwritten by the doctor, but please note that the health certificate form should have the stamp or the seal. Like every doctor has a stamp or a seal. Every seal, every medical institute has that as well. So you need that. For recommendation letter, like I mentioned, since I'm doing the undergraduate first, because undergraduate, it's very difficult to understand where to get the recommendation, etc. So the recommendation format is, there is no fixed format for recommendation letter. However, MEXT has provided a sample recommendation format. If you take my case, I have used the same format. I did not add anything else. I used the same format and have given it to my like academic advisor or dean, and I've made him or her like sign
Yeah.
and fill the form. Yeah.
Like, sorry, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But another thing that I would like to add is, so basically, the teachers and the professors are very lazy when it comes to letter of recommendation. So if you go to them and you tell them that, sir, please write me a letter of recommendation, they will write a very bad letter of recommendation. So you do not want that. What you want to do is you need to go to them and you need to tell them that, sir, I am applying for this scholarship and I have created this small letter of recommendation. Can you please sign it for me? Like, make your own LOR. Do not depend upon them. So make your own LOR and take it in front of them and hope that they sign it, because that's how you can, make your have a good impression.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So, okay, someone mentioned that they cannot see the screen. Is it visible now? Can everybody see the screen? Okay.
Yeah. We can see the screen. It's fine.
Okay. So now the recommendation letter, like Jay said, that you can take it from your principal, and that is considered more has more weightage. Plus, like yeah, so like he said, for the recommendation letter, you can write the background or draft in good English or whatever, and what, not just one line, a few lines explaining what you have done, and then you can politely ask to the to your dean or professor or your principal that, ma'am or sir, if you want to add anything or if you want to like edit anything, you can please do it. So the person
Yeah.
is obliged to either add, but hopefully not subtract. So just keep a note. So in that way, you will not have a chance of not being selected because of recommendation letter. Okay, that is one thing. Second is academic transcript. So a lot of people, they do not understand what is the meaning of academic transcript. It is different for ones who have done their undergraduate and for ones who have done their ones who have just passed 12th. So academic transcript is, for example, if you complete your 12th exam, there is a grade card that you get, which has all the grades that you got, like physics, chemistry, maths, etc. And then you have report cards for every year. So if you pass class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11th, and then 12th. So that is what it means by academic transcripts for all school years attended. In case you have changed schools in between, you have to attach the transcript of the changed schools as well. And in the application form, you have to mention from which year to which year do you have to which year to which year you attended which school, and in that way you have to attach that academic transcript. That is the way. Okay. And yes, about dated recommendation letter, as in the this thing, so there's no date that is required, but since the thing is that if you are writing a recommendation letter or getting a recommendation letter from your professor or whatever, it's better that the professor writes that, okay, I'm recommending the person for MEXT, so that MEXT
Yeah.
knows that this recommendation letter is exclusively for MEXT.
Yeah.
That is the one. Okay. If you don't have academic transcripts for 1 to 9th, I don't understand. Like every year, probably you do get a report card from school.
You
Uh,
do not do, but we do not need academic transcript from 1 to 9, right? They're useless. Do we need them? I did not submit them.
Okay, then probably because like some schools, they like at least like you need to like mention the grade or you need to like mention the year, I guess.
Guys, actually, we only need to mention which school we attended from the time we attended to the time we attended. And okay, I'm going to say this for the last time, so do not ask this again. The transcripts for undergraduate is required for 10th standard, 11th standard, and 12th standard. For international people, it's basically just a high school. Even if you're in the year of your high school, you're studying in 12th standard right now, then it is completely fine if you do not have your 12th standard transcript. When I applied for undergraduate, I did not have my 12th standards transcript, but I still got the scholarship. So do not worry about it. And if you're a master's or PhD student, the same goes for you. Like you have to submit the transcripts of all of your semesters, 1 to 8. But if you are in your final year of your university, so you do not have the transcript for 7th semester or 8th semester, so you do not have to submit it. Just submit whatever you have. It's completely fine. Yeah.
Yeah. But for university, like if you are applying for master's or PhD, like you have to submit transcripts for every semester. That is because I did that. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and if you don't have a transcript for this thing, so, and one thing is very important that if you don't have transcript for like 7th or 8th semester, there is a note at the end of the column, where at the end of the table, you can write currently appearing for the final year. So this transcript is not available. They will still, you might still have to show the transcript after, even after you get the scholarship, I guess. I think afterwards, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are selected. Yeah.
Right.
And so the same thing for research student, I will not repeat it. And for the recommendation letter, I've written 2 is because 2 is advisable. 2 recommendation letters are advisable. I submitted 2 recommendation letters. So please, if possible, you can apply, you can submit that. Okay. And certificate of graduation from university attended. Again, if you have submitted, if you're graduated, you submit that. If you're not graduated, you have a provisional degree, you submit that. And the last one is field of study and research plan. So research plan and field of study is only specific to masters and PhD students. So where you have to mention what you have done in your undergraduate. So if you've done BTech, what all you have completed in BTech, which topics have you studied, if you have done any projects, if you have done any research or any publications, you write that. And research plan is what exactly do you want to do in Japan. So a rough research plan is what is required. Okay. So like this is a little more about transcripts. Like you should know that your college provides multiple copies of original transcripts and you can apply for it. So the degree, you get one single degree and you get one transcript when you are graduating, but you can make multiple copies of transcripts and you can request for it from your universities and you can get that. So, and that is what is meant by original transcript. So you submit the original transcript and then you take a photo and then you take a photocopy and then you submit it. So that's what. Do you have to send the documents by email or by post? It's by post. So it is mentioned. Yeah. So there are a few more documents that are optional. So for undergraduate is direct placement form. This is something that is already mentioned in the guidelines. That is for undergraduate students who directly want to apply to a university and do not need Japanese language proficiency. So for this undergraduate program, here, no, it's not mentioned that you need JLPT. So you do not need JLPT because once you are accepted for undergraduate, you will be given a 1-year provisional Japanese language training, and then you will begin your undergraduate studies. Meanwhile, for people who want direct placement, and who that means who have JLPT, N4, N5, whatever, it's for them, they have to fill this form and submit it. Similarly, certificate of university qualification, if you have applied for an entrance examination, you show the certificate of enrollment. This is irrelevant for people who are just beginning. I think it is for people who already had a solid plan or who are applying again for MEXT. Again, for language, for research people, this is very important to know that submitting a field of study and research plan, you can also submit the abstract of your thesis. For example, if you have any journal paper or a final year thesis that you have submitted if for your graduation, you can submit the abstract of it. And if you have published a paper, well and good. Language proficiency, one more important announcement, that language proficiency is not required. If you have it, you can submit it. If you don't have it, you don't have to submit it. Okay. And for India, I can say that if your education is done, 12 years or 14 years education has been conducted in the language English, you do not need IELTS or TOEFL score. But if you submit it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. For
But
specialized training, yeah.
for the international students, you need to prove that your for like the IELTS proficiency, it would be better to ask your embassy. But if you know your education was in English, or your official language, your native language of your country is in English, then you do not need it. But if you are from a country where English is not very common, then you need to like check with the embassy and check the guidelines. Yeah.
Yeah. And for people who are asking what about specialized training college, please note that in the specialized training college, you have a list of subjects that are that you have to choose. If some subject require Japanese proficiency, then you probably have to provide JLPT. Since it's a training, since you are training to become a teacher, specialized training, or like College of Technology, it is advised, it is preferred to have JLPT. But for basic research students and undergraduate students, you don't really require. Okay.
Yeah, but you can get the specialized scholarship and
Yeah.
the College of Technology scholarship without Japanese as well, because I have friends who are specialized scholars and College of Technology scholars, and it's basically everything is the same as the undergraduate degree, so do not worry about it.
Yeah. And again, if you're from India and is IELTS required, if you're studied in an English medium school, CBSE conducts your whole studies in English and you write your papers in English. Similarly, ICC and etc. So if you can show that your education is completed in English, you will not require IELTS score, is what I repeat
Yeah,
again. Okay.
yeah. Hey, let's go.
Yeah. And this is very important for people who are asking, is your subject, is your program in English or in Japanese? Please note that your studies in English or Japanese depends upon which course you are choosing. So it is up to you. You have to research your university, which first of all, which subject you want to go for. Second, which university offers those subjects. Third, what programs are provided by those universities under those subjects. There are a lot of subjects like economics, even like social science, even like engineering, where there are English programs for all the universities in Japan. You have to check. If they have that, then you conduct your research or you conduct your master's in English. If they don't have it, then you might need Japanese language to come to finish your master's program. For that, that doesn't mean that you cannot apply. So, for example, if your course is in Japanese, that means that once you get your MEXT scholarship, you have to take a Japanese language training in order to pass. So, for example, yeah, for research, usually it is said that research can be conducted in your own language for PhD and for masters. And there are several credit courses. So if you don't want to do research, if you just want to do masters, get credits, pass exams in English and leave, that also can be done provided that university offers that program. So that is up to you. Okay.
Guys, I will be explaining in detail how to choose the perfect university for you, and I will be also assisting you with it. So just wait for some time.
Yeah. uh, Also if Jap also yeah, so now the criteria to choose your field of study and written examination. So now what happens is like in field of study there are sections that are provided for certain number of kinds of field. So sometimes what happens is what you have studied might not be in the mentioned option. But that's not a problem if it is like, for example, if I have studied, like, for example, geophysics, and there's no geophysics, there's like geology and geoinformatics. I can write my application in this, sorry, in this section, geology and geoinformatics. So do not worry if you do not see your subject here. Okay. So now, I'll first do undergraduate and then I'll move to research or master's and PhD, because it's almost the same. So again, for undergraduate, there is part one, which is social science and humanities, where there is law, politics, sociology, literature, and everything else, and even Japanese language. So if someone who wants to study Japanese language can also apply. Okay.
Samriddhi, do you have the option of zooming a little bit? Everybody is saying that
Okay.
they're not able to see.
Is it now
Yeah,
visible?
yeah, awesome. Yeah, yeah, perfect, perfect, perfect.
Okay, so this is for undergraduate. Okay, so you have social studies and humanities, where there's also Japanese language as well, and there is social studies and humanities B. So there's humanities A and humanities B. Okay, which has economics and BA. So business administration, which is like BBA. Okay, you can do that. Now, in order to take this, you, like I mentioned, you have to give a written exam. So what written exam, subject exam do you have to give? For humanities and science A, you have to give Japanese, English, and mathematics. Please note that in case you are applying for example, sociology, politics, law, and if you do not know Japanese, so that doesn't mean that you will not be selected, except Japanese language. So a person who is applying for Japanese language studies does not have prior knowledge of Japanese, they would not give you the scholarship. Okay, for example, I want to study law. Okay, so I fall under social science and humanities A. So I did social science and humanities A. So what subjects do I have to give? Japanese, English, and mathematics. Okay, I can give English, I can give mathematics. What about Japanese? Please do not worry about sitting in the exam for Japanese language. The exam is typically conducted to see whether you need Japanese preparatory classes after you reach Japan or not. So if you're Japanese, if you can attend a few questions and then they'll be like, okay, fine, they don't need the Japanese, this person doesn't need Japanese training. But if a person doesn't know anything, sits for the exam, gets a zero, it can still be selected, is still selected by MEXT, because MEXT is like, okay, his English and maths is great. Okay, he doesn't know Japanese. If his subject requires Japanese training, he can get it once he reach in Japan. So that is one option. That is the only reason why MEXT conduct Japanese language exam. That's it. Okay. And again, yeah, so social studies and science humanities B. For economics and business administration, again, you have English B. So I'll explain it again. Okay. So then there is natural sciences. So natural sciences have a lot of uh, subjects. Okay. Jay, could you please check the Q&A? I'm not able to see.
Yeah,
So,
so basically, I will just sum up all the questions that are being asked here.
okay, okay, okay.
Basically, if you have taken sciences in your high school, okay, guys, listen to this carefully. If you have taken sciences in your high school, then you need to go for natural science A. You know, the one which has mathematics, physics, and chemistry. And that's how your undergraduate exam is going to be of physics, chemistry, and maths. If you are into you can also, if you are a medical student, okay, you took science under medical students, then you need to go for natural science B. You have options of becoming a vet, a dentist, pharmacy, nursing, things like that. And Samriddhi, can you scroll up a little bit? Yeah, yeah. Now comes the humanities section. So this is basically, all of this is divided. The people who are into commerce and humanities, they need to go for the social sciences and humanities option, because for the commerce people, they can opt for economics, they can opt for business administration, and everything that is under the category of social sciences and humanities. So I would sum it up again: the humanities and the commerce people belong into social science and humanities. Choose one of these categories. The science students which have taken physics, chemistry, and maths, who are into engineering, they need to go for natural science A. Me and Samriddhi, both of us are natural science A. And the medical students who want to do nursing, hygiene, pharmacy, stuff like that, they need to go for natural science B. So just this should be very clear. Commerce, humanities, social science, and humanities, first section. Engineering people go for natural science A, and medical people go for natural science B. Okay? Yeah, Samriddhi.
Yeah. So in case someone is doing aerospace or want to study aerospace, for example, and doesn't have aerospace here, okay? So what you can do is you can still fill your application in other fields, okay? Or even in mechanical or in like naval architecture. So it depends, okay? Which subject do you want? So in Japan, when you choose a subject, there it's not general subject, it's very specialized, so you can choose from any of these. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, not to mention, sorry, Samriddhi.
Mm.
Not to mention, you can always change your field. Do not worry about it. Do not, for example, me, I came to Japan for computer science. Right now, I'm working on investment banking and finance. So it's completely different. It has nothing to do like I came to Japan to study more about computer science, and right now I'm planning to join a bank, Goldman Sachs, for banking. So it's not related at all. Do not worry about it. Just choose a common field and you can switch afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And for written examination, please let me explain this A and B thing. This is nothing but the level of the paper. So Japanese A, English A, Maths A, the level is different. And for natural science A, B, like A, B, and C, the level is B, which is a little slightly different, which is more synced to science background people. Okay. So that is what. So again, like, if you are in A, physics, chemistry, maths, so supposing if you want to study aerophysics, you can fill in part in the second option. Okay. And then for that, you have to give probably Japanese. Again, if you sit for Japanese, you don't know Japanese, no problem. You give a blank
Yeah.
paper, it's fine. But you
Yeah.
cannot give a blank paper in English. You cannot give a blank paper in maths, chemistry, physics. You have to give the paper in a good way. Okay. And again, the same thing for Japanese, for natural science B and C. Instead of physics, there is biology. Okay, so like just like IIT and like mains and like in a NEET exam, it's the same thing. Okay, and again, what is the level of paper for preparation? I think I would suggest like just there are several uh, papers, sample papers. You can check that on the website. It will also be mentioned in the link, so please see that. Secondly, for people who are preparing, you can prepare from mains level, IIT
Yeah.
mains, NCRT level paper.
I will explain it later how
Yeah.
to the textbooks. I will be explaining. So just wait.
Yeah. Okay. So that was for undergraduate. For graduate people, it is more diversified. Okay. So you don't have to like worry so much about what do you have to which subject do you have to choose or whatever. Because again, because you're doing your research, master's, doctoral degree. Okay. So that is not a problem. Okay. So if you're it's like Japan social science related or physics, chemistry, chemical engineering, etc. You can do that. Okay. So that's what. For this, sometimes, again, if you have your subject done in English, you don't have to give for a written exam. Because if you studied a subject that is not being taught in English, then probably you have to give a written exam in English, which is just English paper. Is that?
Yeah.
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 Okay. So that is all. For screening, again, you can take a screenshot. This is exactly what we explained in the previous slide. So we cannot spend so much time explaining each and every line. So if you want, please take a screenshot. This is just a summary of what you have to do. Okay. So after the examination, there is an interview process, which will be explained more by Jay. And the interview process again will be about your application form and also about your written exam and etc. So if you have reached the interview process, most of the things are done for you. Okay. Yeah. So again, the keynotes that I mentioned, you fill the application form, you attach the documents, you post the documents via post. Now, this is very important please note that the deadline is 15th May. Okay. So if you have to post your documents, please note that you do not post your document on 15th May, because if you post it on 15th May, it will reach after 15th May. And if it reaches after 15th May, your document will not be accepted. Second, there is a list of contact points which has mentioned, especially for India. If people who are living around Delhi can submit the application to the Embassy of Japan in India in Delhi. Otherwise, people are living in the eastern part can submit it in Calcutta, in the consulate of Calcutta. People who are living in Bombay can submit their application on the west side in Mumbai. Then there's Bangalore as well. So please see which region you fall under. So I will suggest you, once you finish your filling application form and attaching the documents, please send it via post at least 3 to 4 days before the deadline. So if your deadline is 15th May, please post it by 12th May so that it reaches within 3 days. Okay? Or even before that. And then you have to wait. Now, the waiting period, you will not get any information from the embassy. If you call the embassy, did my application reach? They will not entertain it. Okay, and again, like how to post, where to post, etc. Please check your embassy guidelines. If they say send it by email, post it by email. If they say send it by post and email, please do that. So like this is, since we have a very diverse crowd, please do not like get confused. Like I mentioned, the number of copies and how to post. Like usually post is like I was in also from Delhi and I posted it because I did not want any sort of confusion. So please contact the embassy. The embassy point is your go-to place to ask any questions related to posting and documentation. Okay?
Yeah.
So after that, now this is something I'm going to go skim through very, very fast. Most asked questions: can you survive in Japan with the stipend money? Yes, it is more than enough. You can also save. Can you do part-time jobs in Japan? Yes, you can do part-time jobs in convenience store. You can be an English teacher. You can be a tour guide. You can work in a supermarket, etc. So okay, few jobs do not need Japanese. Few jobs do need Japanese. So, but overall, you can do part-time jobs, 28 hours per week, not more than that. So please note that is something that will be mentioned to you once you get the scholarship. Do you need IELTS score and TOEFL score? Like I mentioned, it depends. I hope you have got your answer. If you're studying in an English medium school, your education is in English, you don't need it. Else, you might have to send it. If you send it, well and good. If you don't send it, it's fine if you have done your education in English. Okay. Do I need to know Japanese to study in Japan? Again, not really. If you choose English courses, there are a lot of English courses in Japan. MEXT scholarship is provided to like 99% of the Japanese universities, private universities, public universities, national universities, state universities, everything. So if whether you need Japanese to study your subject or not depends upon you, and you have to ask the university, the professor, if the language is English. You can choose English courses freely. And if you choose English courses, you probably do not have to study Japanese for your research or for your academics. Okay. And then, yeah, so there are several more MEXT scholars. I think some of them are familiar to you. Probably you follow them on Instagram or you follow them on your YouTube channel where they have made tons of videos about MEXT. So the bonus is like if you are with us and if you interact in a community like us, you get an insight about the subject that they are studying. Probably that might be more specific to what you want to study and you can interact with them. So the ones who are shown here, all of us are friends. We study in different parts of Japan and we all are MEXT scholars. Okay, so once you get a MEXT scholarship or you get connected to us, we are all a single community. Okay, again, the social handles, like I mentioned, this video can be uploaded in the YouTube channel. Also, we are also going to make another YouTube channel for our MEXT mentorship where we are only going to talk about MEXT and with MEXT students. Second, whatever the MEXT mentorship initiative that we have, Jay is going to talk about pretty soon. Otherwise, that's all from my side, and we can take Q&A if you
Right.
want. He's going to
If I might add here, Samriddhi, Mishu-san is a very famous person in Japan. You know, she has a lot of she has a lot of followers on Instagram, and she posts some really good reels. So you should follow her on Instagram. On the other hand, I do not post anything, so do not follow me, but you should definitely follow her.
No,
You
but
can
like,
you
yeah.
can ask me any questions on Instagram if you have.
Yeah, but this video will be uploaded on the YouTube channel. So please, if you have any doubts, you can check that. Okay. And yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna stop screen sharing. That was really long. Thank you so much.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, so what kind of questions do you people have? Let's take them slowly. Okay. Oh my God. Oh, chincha. How should we take preparations for MEXT exam for UG programs? I will be explaining it. Can we dentistry? Can we do dentistry, Palak? Yes, you can. And please share some information about specialized training course. Specialized training course, okay, very quickly. UG takes 4 years. College of Technology takes 5 years. And specialized can take 4 years or 5 years. UG is the best. Then comes College of Technology, and then comes Specialized. Specialized is like if you want to do animation or graphic designing, stuff like that, which is like very focused. That's when you go for Specialized. If College of Technology is like you will be studying in a diploma. So first of all, you will be doing a diploma for 3 years, and then for 2 years you will be going to university. And you will not be living in Tokyo because College of Technology schools are very far away from the city. UG is the normal undergraduate that there is. No difference.
Okay.
Yeah, and oh, I closed the chat. Sorry.
Yeah, no, okay. Yeah. So like if you, again, I'm telling you, if you don't want to do research and just want to do masters, you can do it. Credit courses are there. You have to take classes in English or Japanese, whichever, you can do that. So don't worry if it just mentioned research, don't worry about that. Okay.
Yeah. I will be explaining the letter of recommendation, syllabus for MEXT. I will be explaining interview tips. I will be giving.
Yeah.
Um, 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 um.
Yeah. You need 2 recommendation letters. Actually, the guideline just says 1, but if you have 2, you have a higher chance. Whatever, I submitted 2. So I'm just like giving you something that is not
Wow.
mentioned, something that is not
Really?
mentioned in the guidelines. So yeah, that's what.
I submitted only one. I did not know about this.
Okay. Is it necessary to send the recommendation in original form? Yes, you have to submit the recommendation in original form, sealed recommendation letter. Do not open, if so, when once they sign the recommendation letter and you put it in an envelope, you seal it. You cannot like, it is just to maintain privacy that the MEX thinks that, okay, like it's not the student who has written the recommendation, it's actually the teacher. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is
So
what.
about the recommendation letter, you prepare it and then you print it out on a school letterhead. Just go to your academic office of your school, they will do it. After printing it out, get it signed by your teacher or your principal, whoever is giving the recommendation. Fold it, put it in an envelope, then put a stamp on that envelope and do not open it ever again. Okay?
Yeah.
It's a
Also,
secret.
someone is talking about natural science C, which is not mentioned. Yes, MBBS. It's clearly mentioned this time that MBBS is not recruited in India. I'm not sure about other universities. I'm not sure about other countries, but if you want to conduct like MBBS degree, and there's no something called MBBS degree in Japan. But if you want to do MBBS, it's not recruited. Otherwise, if you want to do allied like veterinary courses, nursing, hospital management, whatever, you can do that. So there are several options, like there are multiple options to study whichever allied subject you want to. Okay, that is
Yeah.
one thing.
Can I get permanent job in Japan after getting MEXT scholarship? Yeah, bro, it's up to you. You can get a job whenever you want if you are like if you are intelligent enough, of course.
You want, Madhumita says, I want to do computer science engineering, but it's not mentioned. So computer science engineering falls under information
In-
technology,
Yeah,
informatics, information technology.
yeah,
So there's nothing called computer science. So if you apply in information technology, you will be good to go. Okay. How do
yeah.
I get my original documents back? I'm so sorry, you're not going to get your original documents back. So you please do not submit your degree, only degree. You have to basically ask for copies from your college or from your school. And they do provide copies of transcripts and copies of degrees. So you do not submit the only degree that you have because you're not going to get anything back. Okay. So that is one thing.
This is called getting your transcripts attested. So you take your original degree and go to your university. You take out a photocopy and tell the university to put a stamp on that photocopy, an original stamp, so that they can verify that this photocopy is completely correct and original. This is known as attesting. So you need to get this done. You do not need to submit the original degree you have, guys. You will never get it back.
Yeah. And
Okay.
the details about how to fill the form, please wait for Jay to answer everything. That is the reason why we are here, to help you out personally. Okay. Please guide on the essay. Everything will be completed. If you have anything related to the slide, please let us know. Okay.
Okay.
So many messages. While he's sharing, I'll just say English taught courses, we can do it in any track. There's no problem, provided you find the English taught courses in the university you want to study in. Only then. Okay.
Yeah. So, guys, I would be starting my thing now, and I will be doing. Samriddhi basically explain to you everything that you have to do. Now, I will be giving you the basic tips and tricks and how we can help you more to get this scholarship. So, I would just share my screen. So, give me 1 minute. Samriddhi, till then you can take the questions. It will take me some time.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Okay, what are the chances of getting a scholarship for students with social science background? So as you can see, there are separate quota, separate seats allotted for these background. That's why it's just like humanities A, humanities B, natural science A. So we cannot say the exact number, but as long as, so there have been cases where the person is the only applicant in that, like for example, economics is the only applicant in economics, and if his application is good enough, he's selected.